So, good morning, friends. Once again, I welcome you back to this class of video lecture. This is BA Part 2nd, English Literature, Paper 1, Poetry and Drama. And today we check up a very famous poem written by Wordsworth. And the title of the poem is The World is Too Much with Us. The title in itself is suggestive of its theme, and the title aptly says that it is the world which is with us. It is not other things, including nature, or prominently, nature is not with us. It is world which is with us. So before I come to the poem, that's a very lovely poem. I would like to give you a very brief introduction of the poet William Wordsworth, who is a very chief representative poet of Romanticism. William Wordsworth was born at Cockermouth in Cumberland on April 7th, 1770. His father, John Wordsworth, was an attorney at law and law agent to Sir James Lowther, who eventually became the Earl of Lonsdale. His mother was Annie, only daughter of William Coxon, Mercer of Penrith, and of Dorothy, born Crackenthorpe, of the ancient family of that name, who from the times of Edward III had lived in Newbiggin Hall, Westmoreland. Thus Wordsworth was of pure northern stock. Of the personalities of Wordsworth's parents we knew very little. As far as information about his parents is concerned, there are least information. His mother died when he was 8 years old, and his father when he was 14. This is known that both the mother and father died very early. So the time of his infancy and early boyhood was passed partly at Cockermouth and partly with his mother's parents at Penrith, where his mother in the year 1778 died of a decline brought on by a cold in consequence of being put at a friend's house in London. As a child, Wordsworth was of a moody and violent temper. Indeed, before his mother's death, he had already developed peculiarities of character which caused her some anxiety. In the autobiographical memoranda dictated by Wordsworth at Royal Mount in 1847, he himself writes, "An intimate friend of hers told me that she once said to her that the only one of her 5 children about whose future life she was anxious was William." This was supplied that Wordsworth by nature was quite moody and violent, so it was a matter of concern for his mother from the very beginning. So this is something about a sort of introduction of Wordsworth as a man. Where was he born? What were his father and mother? So friends, directly I come to the poem. In this poem, as the title in itself says, the world is too much with us. The world is too much with us. The poet in this poem, the poet is pained to see the growing tendency of the contemporary people towards wealth and wasteful pleasures. He feels sorry for the loss of appreciation of the beauty of nature. The poet is pained to observe that people do not appreciate the beauty of nature, the treasure of nature. They are running away from nature. Nature is no more found as a prominent place in the life of contemporary man. The people are busy with earning money all the time. People busy earning money only, creating resources. They devote all their energies to the collection of wealth and spending it on wasteful pleasures. People have exchanged their finer sensibilities. Yes, Wordsworth is famous to talk of sensibilities, and these sensibilities are finer by nature, finer, upright, pure, modest, sincere, simple, and innocent. Such is the nature of sensibility. And because of sensibility, we are human beings. Otherwise, we are savage, wicked, crooked, devils, and demons. Only sensibilities raise our status from that of devils and demons and from animals. We are uplifted to a higher level, of manhood and sainthood, simply because of sensibility which is found in human heart and human mind. And Wordsworth calls it finer sensibility. It is finer, pure, upright heart and pure. Milton says in the beginning of the Paradise Lost, in the first 26 lines, the first 26 lines, I prefer to dwell in upright heart and pure. God prefers to live not in majestic temples, not in magnificent churches, but where does He prefer to live? He prefers to live in upright heart and pure. If the heart is upright and pure, if the heart is innocent, simple, and virtuous, then God prefers to live there. So sensibilities are finer. They raise our status. They differentiate us from animals and devils and demons. So in this poem, the poet is penned to see the growing tendency of contemporary people towards materialism, capitalism, industrialization, towards a luxurious life, pleasant life, right? So people have exchanged their finer sensibilities for the accumulation of wealth. In and out of season, accumulation of wealth has been a weakness on the part of man. Man keeps on accumulating his resources, his wealth, and it creates problems because accumulation is driven by greed. And when one is greedy, then he becomes blind. And when he becomes blind, he could see only wealth, and he stops seeing other uh, facets of nature, of life. So they never look at the beautiful sight of the sea. Nature has tremendous, generous sides which offer pleasure and delight to man. But man has no time. They never look at the beautiful sights of the sea, with the moon shining with its silvery light. They also do not appreciate the calm and quiet aspects of nature. Nature has two aspects. One is calm and peaceful aspect. This calm and peaceful aspect of nature could be seen through different natural uh, artifacts, whereas the horrible and terrible side of nature could also be visible. Nature has a blend of two extreme things, calm and terror. Both go hand in hand in nature. Nature holds both the uh, dimensions. Calmness, one can also find calmness the quiet side of nature and the terrible side of nature. This theme has been aptly taken up by William Black in one of his famous poem, Tiger. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night. What fearful symmetry could thy hand make? Nature makes, creates a very wild creature like tiger. On the other hand, nature also creates a very, soft and very tender creature like I'm forgetting that name. So that theme has been taken up. Tiger, tiger, burning bright. Lamb, yes, I got reminded. It is lamb. Both lamb and tiger have been created by nature. So they also do not appreciate the calm and quiet aspects of nature. The poet is so much filled up with the ugly life of his times that he desires to break the shackles of materialism of his times. He wants to shackle, destroy the shackles of materialism. He desires to go back to the simple and unsophisticated days of the pagan times so that he may enjoy himself in the beautiful aspects of nature. He wants to go back to the old stage of pagan times because paganism has been a creed, has been a branch of knowledge in which uh, the followers only worship nature. They take nature to be God. He wishes to have vision of the gods of nature like Triton and Proteus. The poet is ready to embrace paganism of ancient Greece rather than continue to be a follower of Christianity. He hopes to be able to enjoy himself in nature. So the main crux of the poem is nature, is the worship of nature, is the appreciation of nature, and both these two worlds are contrasted with a superb, uh, delineation. Which are these two worlds? One is the world of materialism, which we can see through our naked eyes, and that is very charming. This world of materialism is very charming. It appeals us to a great extent, but from inside it is empty. From inside it is empty, and the next world is the world of nature. So both these two worlds are contrasted well in the poem, and finally the poet comes to this conclusion that only the world of nature could save us. At the end, finally, we have to go back to the shelter of nature. As Rousseau says, go back to nature. Because only the world of nature is natural by nature. And this world of materialism is not natural by nature, it is artificial by nature. And if we human beings could understand this thing well in our understanding, the present times of COVID 19 have taught us that the more we run away from nature, the more we be away from nature, we find ourselves amid such terrible times. So, I simply read the very first line of this poem. The world is too much with us, late and soon. Getting and spending, we lay waste our powers. Thank you, friends.